Good morning, Las Vegas. Welcome to Rise and Shine.
Come on, everybody.
And good morning, Las Vegas. This is Rise and Shine, Las Vegas, and I'm Jason Hawe. And it's a really fantastic day today. Let's start off with, I have a very special guest, and we're going to get into that here very soon. Just wanted to basically welcome everybody, and I thank you for tuning in. Just to start off with, it's been quite a week. For myself personally, I had my 50th birthday. Yes, 50. Just last week, today, Tuesday the 23rd. And then I completed my scuba certification, so I'm now a scuba diver. And but to top it all, the most important thing, very special today, I have the honor of welcoming Councilwoman, Victoria Seaman, to the show here to talk about her upcoming candidacy and all of the things that are going on with Las Vegas and what her hopes and things are with the city. So very, very excited for that and can't wait to jump into it. We're going to get to that in just another moment. I'm going to take a short break here in a moment, and we'll come back to that, and we're going to welcome her onto the set. So to start off with, a lot's going on right now. Everybody in Las Vegas right now, it's the Super Bowl. Yes, we finally have that settled. Talk a little sports. That's usually what I do on the program, but we'll kind of cater that for later. So the Super Bowl, however, is finally figured out. It's underway. It'll happen in 10 days. And we've got now San Francisco 49ers and the Kansas City Chiefs. Kansas City Chiefs, again, I had to look back again and realize that they were, in fact, the defending Super Bowl champions. Really? I'm not a fan. You know where I am. I'm a Colorado sports fan for life, so that's just the way it is. And so Raiders, Chiefs, not so much. So I'm going for the 49ers. That's going to happen. And we're going to talk a little bit about that in the next segment with Councilwoman Seaman here as well, because it's a huge event. Everything is changing, all the issues that we are facing as far as adjusting to all of that coming along. So we're certainly going to get to that here very soon. So, beautiful day today. We'll jump right into that. The weather's been fantastic. That I can say. It's been very early summer feel without the 100 degrees anyway. But it reminds me of Colorado in June, so we're a step ahead in that regard. But a beautiful last couple of days. It's going to get a little cooler again coming along, but enjoy it while it's here. Hard to say what it's going to be like for Super Bowl weekend, but still, it's Vegas. Really can't go wrong. So we're going to get into that a little bit too and talk about so much more about current issues here in Las Vegas and what we can look ahead. The year 2024 is going to be really something else for everybody, I'm sure. So we're going to talk some more with that. I'm going to have her for a good segment all the way through the show, and I can't wait to get started with that. So we're going to take just another minute. We're going to get settled in, and we're going to welcome you back. We're going to take just a short break. And when we come back, I'll have Councilwoman Victoria Seaman right here with me. So thanks.
Welcome to social media shows. Have you been watching social media shows recently? Of course you have. We have been live streaming for 4 years across social media platforms. We produce over 70 shows with over 1,000 episodes. In the process, we've helped over 100 creators realize their dreams and start their own show. We give platforms to promote your business. If you are an artist, if you have an event, if you are entrepreneurs, or if you have a story. If you haven't done it yet, go ahead and subscribe and follow us on major social media platforms. And if you have a great idea of a show, join us. Social media shows can help you produce and live stream your own show. Let us help you make your dream become a reality.
Traditional TV is going away. Hollywood is starting to fade. People are demanding real stories from real people. Our voices are now being heard in our own way. Podcasts, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and TikTok Live are becoming the norm. Internet TV has now reached the highest demand in human history. social media shows is now the new media of the century.
Hello, everyone. This is Joseph Skoda with Social Media Shows. Well, I thank all of you for your support through these last several years, and it's been a lot of fun. We've given people a voice they never had before. Now, Social Media Shows is always collaborating with our veterans to help them do things and help out the veterans who are struggling today. And we teamed up with GI Connections, connecting veterans with resources. So please consider helping and donating to this great cause because we're always doing things for veterans. So GI Connections, Social Media Shows, and you is what makes the world a better place. Once again, Joseph Skoda, proud United States Air Force veteran.
And welcome back. We're here, and it is now the time that I've been waiting for. We've been talking about this for a few weeks now, and again, really a pleasure, really an honor to welcome Victoria Seaman, Councilwoman for the City of Las Vegas, Ward 2. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me, and happy birthday.
And thank you very much.
And I don't know if you know, but my chief of staff is a world-renowned scuba diver. He dives all over the best places in the world. He loves it.
That's incredible, yes.
So congratulations on your
Thank you.
Scuba diving.
I've been wanting it for quite some time, so it was a thrill. I loved it under the water. Under the sea is what it's cracked up to be, so yeah, I like that. So, should I call you Victoria, Councilwoman? You just nearly a year ago is when you announced your candidacy, is that right?
I announced in February of 2023.
Fantastic.
And we're already in February of 2024. And so it is, because of that, now we're going to have a big grand opening of our candidate office, mayoral candidate office.
Outstanding. Now, where is that located?
That is going to be Decatur and Alta. And we'll be having the big grand opening February 22nd. I'm very excited about
February
it.
20th. Absolutely. Got staff buzzing and humming and everybody.
Everybody's going.
Oh, that's fantastic. So, as I mentioned, you are City Council for Ward 2. That is Summerlin area.
Yes.
And I actually happen to live in Summerlin.
Oh, good.
So I'm one of your
Hope I have your
constituents
support.
directly. So, again, this has just been such a thrill. So, following a little bit, not to delve too much into the work, specifically, but you've definitely had an impact throughout the area there. I've seen all sorts of things as far as your work with the law enforcement and rescue and the animals, the other all sorts of events. Talk a little bit about what your last year has been so far in that.
So I got reelected last year in the primary. I came into the city council on a special election, was supposed to do 2 years before I ran for re-election, but because of Assembly Bill 50, it gave us all in office another year and a half. Okay. So I ran for election in 2022, won in the primary, and it just showed me that the constituents are really happy with the work that I'm doing. It is my goal to make sure that we don't kick things down the road. I think the biggest complaint that I get from constituents is, what are you doing? You're working for us. What are you doing? And there are issues that we need to take care of, and nobody's taking care of it. And you mentioned one, which was the Animal Foundation. It had been a problem for decades, about 28 years of continual problems in really not being that shelter that for a world-class city. We had a lot of problems, a lot of euthanizations. It wasn't operating to get the animals in and out. And a lot of times they, for capacity, used euthanization. The care was not where it should have been. And so when I found out about it from actually Darcy Spears, Channel 13, I took it upon myself to make sure that we get a shelter that our animals deserve. And so it took 2 years, but we tackled it, and we will be putting out a request for proposal in the middle of 2024, and we will be able to find an operator that the city can be proud of.
That is outstanding. Yes, the city this size and with population and the animal population, that certainly is something.
Right. I mean, we had animals running in the street. They weren't taking them in surrenders. They weren't taking in animals found, and it was unacceptable. And like I said, it took 2 years because people they don't want to deal with those tough issues. But I took it head on, and I got the council to finally support it, and the mayor, and we're now moving on. So I'm really excited about that.
Fantastic. More of what you've done here will come. We'll talk about that. But it brings to mind that in your work in the city council, working with the mayor, Carolyn Goodman, being on that side of things in that operation, what do you feel now that you're endeavoring to be on the other side of that equation? How would you estimate some of the successes on her part versus perhaps what you are out to change in that role?
So I think the Goodmans have done a fantastic job. I would love to continue their legacy of the wonderful things that they've done here. We've grown exponentially, especially in the last decade, and there's more work to be done. I think that the city, because of the problems that we're facing across the nation and cities, which is homelessness, which is crime is out of control, and we're dealing with Badlands at the city, something that came to the city before I was there, and I've always told everybody we need to come to the table and settle. And what I was saying is coming to fruition because now it's at the Supreme Court, and it could basically bankrupt the city. So I believe that we need bold leadership. We need somebody who's willing to tackle those issues. And that's why I stepped up, because I'm willing to do that. Again, I think that the mayor, the Goodmans have done a great job at a lot of things that they've done for the city, but Badlands was not such a great thing. And I think that hopefully we can settle it before the Supreme Court decides, but I don't know that that's going to happen. But what I can say is that any issue like the Animal Foundation, while I'm on the council and as mayor, I will tackle it. We're going to make sure that we don't kick things down the road.
I get the sense that there's a bit of a bulldog in you.
Yes,
that
I have two French bulldogs.
Oh, that's right. There's
they teach me a lot.
There's a Coco and
Coco and Pierre are my Brittany Spaniels.
Okay.
And then we have an adoptee dog that's named Jock, who is my favorite. And then we have two Frenchies, Louis and Blue Theo.
Theo. Okay, yeah. That's the one that I recall.
Those are father and son. So I love animals, as you can see, and
sure.
I can learn a lot from my bulldogs.
I do get a sense that you are able to step up and when there's a fight, you
that's what we're called to do as public servants. Politicians sometimes forget that, and they're afraid to come out and tackle those tough issues because maybe they're afraid of their next election. I got into politics late, and it was simply because I felt there was enough representation. I was a businesswoman, and my goal was to make sure I got people elected that would tackle those issues. And then somehow I ended up elected, but I'm glad that I did, because I do believe that it's important that we have public servants who don't think about another election, and they're doing what they're called to do.
Absolutely. No.
To solve problems.
Fix it. You see a problem, fix it.
I don't believe there's a lot of things we can't fix if we put our mind to it.
Nice, absolutely. So, and speaking of, you had a very successful career in business and moved into public service at this point. Now, taking on the role of mayor of Las Vegas, we're not talking mayor of Mooseport here. There is no city like Las Vegas, and as a result, there is no mayoral office quite like this position. What do you feel is some of the more significant differences, and what area in taking on this role, mayor of Las Vegas, that you see coming ahead?
Well, again, I think it's really important to understand that we're a growing city. We're landlocked. There's a lot of issues that we face that a lot of other cities aren't facing, and we are facing those issues that other cities are facing at the same time. And I think we need somebody who's really been hands-on in that. It isn't that I'll tell you, I'm going to fix this or I'm going to do this. I've been doing it. I've actually been sitting in council and dealing with the issues that we have. One of the things that we're dealing with is our unhoused, and I think the city was the first to kind of take it on with the Corridor of Hope, trying to replicate the Haven for Hope in San Antonio, which the governor is now doing. I went with their delegation to San Antonio because we had started the Corridor of Hope before I got elected. We've done so much since I've got elected, in that it is an amazing facility. And if you haven't toured it, or anybody out there hasn't toured it, I recommend that you do, because we've done an amazing job with 2 acres of land, whereas the Haven for Hope is maybe 14 acres. But what it is, and one of the things that we did in 2019 when I was in office, is we voted for the camping ban, and now Henderson has followed suit with us. And what that does, people don't realize, is it gives us an opportunity to get people on the street help if they'll take it. That we can't force them, but we have a facility where they can go to get those wraparound services. At the same time, you can't camp out. What we don't want to see is, we don't want to see encampments all over our city. You can go to Los Angeles, San Francisco, Portland, and many other cities and see that. And recently, Los Angeles has started to move them out of the streets. But the problem with these other cities that I see is they put a Band-Aid on it. We need real solutions. And I love what the governor's done to replicate what we've done at the city in joining with private industry, the casinos, and putting that 100 million, matching 100 million, to replicate the Haven for Hope, because we do have to offer those wraparound services. If we want to tell people you can't camp on the streets, we want to be able to offer those services to get them off the street.
This is what you can do instead.
Yeah, and I'm really an advocate for recovery, because I've been out in the tunnels. I see what people are out there. Usually it's drug addiction or mental illness. I mean, you can show me all the reports you want that somebody lost their job, but I've been there. I've talked with Crossroads. I've talked with Foundation for Recovery. I'm out there with Vegas Stronger and all the rest. And the bottom line is, it's a lot of drug abuse and a lot of mental illness. And those are the services that we need to offer. Again, you can't force people, but at least we have them.
That's incredible. And I get a little chill when I have this talk and hear this from you. The homeless issue, and we were going to go into that because, for one, it encompasses so many other significant issues in all of our communities. Yeah. Healthcare, addiction and mental health, the housing costs and cost of living, all those things going into that. I have a very different perspective. Well, not different, but I have a personal perspective on that. In fact, and I've mentioned this on the show a few times, and on one of the other programs, but I am in fact a recovered alcoholic. I am now 7 years.
Congratulations.
7 years sober. Yeah.
I'm very proud of you. It's a tough thing. Addiction is tough.
Absolutely.
And so but see, you're an example that people can recover.
It's absolutely true. And to follow, I spent the first 2 years of my recovery in a homeless shelter in Fort Worth, Texas. So I lived that with all those people. So again, you're absolutely right. When it comes to, so much of it is about the addiction and the mental health issues. There's a huge percentage of them that can't get up and get off and get out and get, but there's also, unfortunately, a large percentage that won't.
Exactly. Yeah.
Those tent cities and those camping things. There's so many of my experience that choose not to follow any rules and any guidelines in order to avail themselves of those services.
Right, but I'm grateful for the nonprofits that we have here that are out there, shine a light in the tunnels.
Yes.
Break Off from Crossroads, Foundation for Recovery, where they go out with the Narcan. And they really want to help those, because a lot of those folks that work in Crossroads, Foundation for Recovery, Vegas Strong, they're all former, they've all gone through recovery. So they not just walk the walk, they, talk the talk, they walk the walk. So
it's not just say no kind of thing.
No, they understand the challenges.
They get it.
So I can't tell you how much I support them, how much I try to go out with them, and they're the ones that educate me on what is happening out there. Because, people, I think every single person is touched by someone that was fighting addiction and has gone through recovery.
Right.
I mean, everyone knows someone or has a relative
And
or they
lost
themselves,
someone.
right?
Yeah.
Or has lost someone.
Yeah.
And what we don't want is more people to fall victim to fentanyl and all the other drugs that are out there that are killing our children.
Yeah.
So, I'm a big believer in trying to support these nonprofits and, as I said, support our Hope Corridor and getting people off the street and in recovery.
That's fantastic. It does. It ruins lives, and
does.
not just the ones involved, but everyone around. I like what you also said, though, about all of these outreaches, all of these interventions, all these services, and everybody engaged and involved in those, and also the boundaries, the limits, and the consequences. That there has to be that other side of things, and people need to be taught how to live within that again, and taking away those encampments and enforcing some of those is going to be a difficult process, because there is that segment, the rebel, the lost ones, the ones that choose to be that way,
Right.
of which I was one for a short time.
Right.
Sometimes you just there's so many people that are lost and then embrace it.
Right.
And they're just like, well, all right, speed me down the road to the end there, come what may. But having both sides of that is what's difficult in most cities dealing with the homeless issue. Is, it does pull at your heart. It does draw on our compassion and our humanity. But at the same time, just like any parent and any child, there is tough love that's necessary.
Yeah, and you can't encroach upon somebody else's business or home or life because you choose to have an encampment wherever you want. So
That's right.
I think it's important for people to realize that, you can't do the camping ban without offering the service, and you can't offer the services without having the camping ban. And I'm so grateful that Henderson decided to do it. The county still hasn't done it. North Las Vegas still hasn't done it. So you will see encampments in some of those areas that, you may think is Las Vegas, but it's not. It's under county jurisdiction or North Las Vegas. But I think at the city we've done a phenomenal job, and it's an effort by all council members and the mayor.
Outstanding, and all of the mayors of the neighboring cities there too. Is there a real partnership, a real collaboration with the mayor of North Las Vegas, Henderson?
Well, that's a question for Mayor Goodman if she has that. I know that I do. I have a great relationship not only with the mayors, but with the governor. I also have a really great relationship with the legislators, and I mean from both parties. I try to invite them after the election, because it's every 2 years. Mm-hmm. After the election, I'll invite everybody to City Hall for either a happy hour or a lunch, so that we can get to know them and say, hey, we're boots on the ground all year round. We can help educate you on some of the issues, the things we're having issues with. And I've done that now as long as I've been in the council. And so therefore I have a great relationship with legislators, county commissioners. I work with them quite often. We have to. You have to. If you really want to get things done, you need to work with everyone. And that's one of the things I think, as being a businesswoman, I know that. I've done that. You want to solve problems, you need to work with everyone.
Teamwork, delegation, and
Definitely.
That's very interesting. It brings to mind, some of what I will talk about here in the next segment. We're going to take a break here shortly, but how party politics filters down into from the governor's office and on down to more of the local area. So it's a different dynamic. We'll talk about how that plays out. And how that affects, again, the boots on the ground thing I love. That's really, you're really engaged and you're really active in working. So there's lots more to talk about here in just a few minutes. We're going to take a short little break, and we're going to come back with Councilwoman Victoria Seaman.
Hi, I'm Deacon T with Modern Word Ministries. It's great to be with you today. Just a short little promo for our show. Every Sunday morning we have service, and you can follow us at 10 a.m. Pacific Time on modernwordministries.org. And if you missed us or you want to see some of our older messages, go ahead and check us out on socialmediashows.com every single morning at 9 a.m. It's a great way to kick off your day, get a little bit of the word in you, get something uplifting, get you started off on your way. You know, if you're looking for prayer or you need some help, reach out to us. If you go to our website, again, that's modernwordministries.org, you can interact with me via telephone, via DM, text message, whatever you want. I'll get right back to you. So if you need prayer, you need help, you just need somebody to talk to, Modern Word Ministries is here for you. We are your church in the community. So until you see you next time, be blessed, everybody. Bye-bye.
Got Films is a full-service production company that provides motion picture quality content and production services for use in the film and TV industry. Looking for a seasoned crew, high-quality equipment, or other production services for your film, TV, commercial, corporate convention, sports, news, or interview project? Your search stops here. Some of our projects include NASCAR, American Restoration, Pawn Stars, Counting Cars, Top Chef, BattleBots, Forge and Fire, and Street Outlaws. We have also produced over 60 feature films and documentaries. We're ready for all your needs. Whatever your project, whatever your budget, big or small, Got Films got you. GotFilms.com.
All right, welcome back. I'm here still with Councilwoman Victoria Seaman, and we're going to wrap things up here. It's been a wonderful, really thrilling time to talk with her today, so we'll get back into it. I mentioned before the break, just curious about how party politics filters down to various levels of office, more obvious in governors, but is it much of a factor in the local level?
Not really, except that you want somebody who is a very strong leader who's going to make sure the number one issue is public safety. And I am very pro law enforcement. I'm very pro law and order. And that is one of the main things that I'm running on is crime is out of control. People need to be held accountable. And the most important thing for people is they want to be safe. We've got 40 million tourists coming every year. And we have close in southern Nevada, not in city limits, close to about 2 million people. And people want to know that they are being protected and that their leaders are going to make sure that we get crime down. And the only way to do that is to hold people accountable.
You know, I love that. I've personally been on just this vendetta about accountability for quite some time now. Individual and personal accountability. With all the social media and all the detachment that we have, nobody is held accountable for anything, it seems. There seems to be so little consequence to so much of it.
Well, and that falls on your legislators, and their parties can matter. But here at the local level, people call my office. They need help with whatever it is, zoning, their neighbor, the issues are nonpartisan, and it doesn't matter what party you are. You call your council person, and you know that public servant is doing a good job when they take care of those issues. But it does matter on the other levels because you want people to be pro law enforcement, and this justice reform that was done across the country simply isn't working. All it is we're not going to hold you accountable. Right. So the criminals are doubling down.
Yeah. That is really a relief to hear, and I can tell that you welcome that interaction, that the people reaching out to you and being in that office and taking charge of that. Right. I can really see that. As far as taking charge, again, you're very boots on the ground, very active, very engaged. What going forward now? The election is this year. What is it that you are bringing to the table this year?
Well, I'm bringing to the table that I have a good relationship with law enforcement. We're not going to kick any of the issues down the road. We need bold leadership. As I said earlier, we are growing exponentially. And so we need leaders who understand that we have what issues are happening across the country, which is the unhoused, crime. And these are issues that need to be tackled. And these are issues that are really important to constituents that I've spoken to. And those are the issues that I'm going to tackle.
Absolutely. That's fantastic.
And we're growing, and we have to look at affordable housing, workforce housing, and these things we're already dealing with. So when candidates say, I'm going to, or I'm going to learn, that we already know what the issues are at the city. We're dealing with them, we're working with them. I mean, I have to say that over the last 4 years, we've grown so much and it really had to tackle a lot of the issues of workforce housing. We built, if you look around and see how much the city is built, we've been dealing with zoning. I think we've done a pretty good job, and I want to continue to do a good job for the constituents and make sure that we're doing smart building, make sure that we're working with our federal delegates on the water issue, on the lands issue, because 87% of Nevada is owned by the federal government. So we're pretty much becoming landlocked in southern Nevada. So, and we're growing. So we either have to start growing up or we have to start getting some of that land. And I think that we can do that.
That's impressive. Yeah, we are. It's an active, vibrant city, continually growing and expanding. So that I really love to hear that. That's fantastic. Congresswoman, it's been truly an honor, a real pleasure.
Can I ask a question?
And my producer has a question.
All right. Well, my question to you, Councilman, is so we are having all this attack into our community, the gunning of schools. How, and we have the October 1st, few years ago. What is your role to avoid this type of violence in our city?
Well, once again, it's all about mental illness. We have to deal with what's happening out here. Is we need to get more resources to mental health, because the issue isn't the gun, it's the mental health. And as a councilwoman and as mayor, my goal will be to continue to do what we've done with making sure we have the resources at the corridor and we're getting the resources we need for the city, but also working with the governor, who is now going to replicate the Haven for Hope and offer those wraparound services. Money needs to go to mental health. It's a huge issue. It's a huge issue across this country, and that is something I'm going to continue to advocate and work for.
I agree completely that anytime throughout our nation with these horrific events and these shootings and everything, my thought is always, what's behind the person willing to do that?
Exactly.
And again, the mental health issue is first and foremost.
It's first and foremost, and we have to start putting more resources towards that. We have at the city, and I know the governor's working on these wraparound services. But once again, with what we see in the homeless population, it's drugs and mental health. Now, some of them are on drugs and now have mental health issues, or some of them had mental health issues and now are on drugs. Yeah. We need to understand that. We need to talk about it, and we need to get resources towards that.
Very good.
Follow-up question with the resources for mental illness. As we all see, a lot of people coming to our town and they become mentally ill. What are you planning to have programs on your own to help our community with mental illness?
Well, we already do. We have the Corridor of Hope. We have a full medical facility there and mental health facility, and we have other ones that we work with, or we, just like recovery. We have Crossroads, we have Foundation for Recovery. So, these are all available to these folks, but we need to do it more collaboratively and holistically with the rest of the state and the county to make sure that we're all in the same direction. And that's one of my goals as mayor, is to really make sure that we're all doing this together, because the city doing our Corridor of Hope, and yet we had people coming from the county and everywhere else, it wasn't enough.
Yeah.
I know we took those steps, and I'm so glad that we did, but we need more. So I'm really excited about working with my peers as mayor and just doing a lot more for mental health.
I'm sorry to hack the conversation. I apologize, but I have follow-up question with that. What are you doing to put, it seems that we are divided. What is your program? What is your step of collaborating all different sides of our society? What is your plan? How would you actually get us all connected here in Las Vegas?
Well, just simply by the awareness and the programs that we're doing. And that's when you talked about social media. I do a lot of social media on the programs available out there to help people. Yesterday, we toured a home for recovery for women where they have a safe house where they can go. And so I think it's really important as a leader that we continually work with these groups. We continually bring awareness. I have, since last year, done now 3 town halls for anti-human trafficking, which is another problem with women who are on addiction and they get caught up in these things. But we also have a problem. We have so many issues in the city, and I think bringing awareness to it, because a lot of people don't know. I didn't know the problem that we had until somebody brought it to my attention. And after research, then I went out and started doing town halls to make people aware of their children being groomed for human trafficking. So I think it's really important as a leader to constantly bring awareness and look for solutions, and holistically as a whole with our other peers in the colleagues in the state legislature, and I'll continue to do that. And I think we've had great results.
It's tremendous what you said there about holistic approach. It's about the funding for it. It's about the willingness to engage, and it's about educating those right people involved in how to handle things. So
Correct.
The education of all of that in dealing with those things. So
Yeah.
that's
We got to take all the issues head on and work together and find solutions collaboratively. And that's really kind of what I've done over the last 4.5 years. Was spent 2 years in the state legislature and really learned then, when you are involved in partisan politics, that when you work together, you get things done. When you don't care who takes credit, you get things done. And that's how I worked then, and that's how I'll work now.
That's amazing. Again, it's been really inspiring to have this conversation with you. You are definitely having a great year to contribute in the ways that you have here. So very excited for the coming months and the election process. And again, thank you so much for coming.
Thank you for having me.
We're going to take a short little break here. I'm going to let her get on with a very busy day, I'm quite sure. But again, it's been a real honor. So thank you so much.
Pleasure.
And we will be right back.
John is an employee at one of the most famous firms in the city of New York. So his job is very hectic, and he realized that it is necessary for him to go and finally take a vacation. But he went on a vacation without planning out the details, and wasn't able to truly enjoy where he went because he had to think about so many things that he didn't plan for. Instead of enjoying his time away from work, he came back with more stress that he was not able to take full advantage of his vacation. But this year, a coworker suggested him to try World Ventures this time to make his vacationing more enjoyable and less stressful. They do not require you to plan anything outside of your transportation, which is also available at discounted rates. Your stay, your transport, and many meals are planned by the club. John liked the idea very much. He tries World Ventures, and his experience with the club was amazing, as he made many friends there with whom he had a great time. John recommends that everyone should try this club, as they are the best in business. See how the VIP-vacation-club.com can give you the right experience without all the hassle. Enjoy the VIP experience that only World Ventures provides.
What affects your credit? The answer can be many things. Let's take a look at a few of the most common factors and how they can impact your credit. Credit history. In order to have a credit score, you need to have open and active credit accounts. This gives you the opportunity to build a credit score and get approved for larger purchases such as a car or a home. so it's important to have a responsible record of debt repayment, available credit, and usage. The rule of thumb is to use 30% of your available credit to minimize the impact of debt on your credit score. In other words, the less credit you use, the better. Monthly on-time payments. By making sure your monthly payments are paid on time, you could boost your credit score. Late payments, however, may bring your score down. Errors on your credit report. Check your credit report regularly to make sure it's accurate. If there are any errors or signs of identity theft, report them immediately to the appropriate credit bureau. Applications for credit. If you're applying for credit, filling out several applications in a short amount of time may hurt your credit score. It's ideal to keep the applications to a minimum. However, there is an allowable shopping window for a mortgage. Remember, a good credit score could possibly save you in interest payments. If your credit score needs some improvement, however, consider starting with the basics mentioned here. And when you're ready to buy your dream home, give New American Funding a call. We'll help you find a home loan that works for you and your unique situation.
All right, we're back. Final end of the show here today. It was the best thing. I'm so honored, so thrilled. To be honest, I get choked up every time I think about it. When I think about where I was 7 years ago, in the back of a broken down van, nearly dead from my addiction, my alcoholism. From then to sitting across from mayoral candidate Councilwoman Victoria Seaman, it's remarkable. And she was a fantastic guest, very insightful, very ambitious, very vibrant. She's really got a lot to do, and well, it was really a thrill to have her on. Now, also, the excitement continues next week. We're welcoming in Congresswoman Shelley Berkeley, another prominent mayoral candidate for this year's election. She will be joining us. So again, it just continues. I can't wait for that opportunity. So we're going to wrap things up now. I want to thank you for watching and tuning in with us. And we will be coming back again next week. Thank you.
Come on, everybody.